Let's be honest, Rolex makes amazing watches. No one is denying that. But not everyone wants to spend a fortune just for a name on the dial. Sometimes the real question is simple. Which watch tells the time beautifully, feels great on your wrist, and lasts for years without emptying your bank account? That's where Tissot comes in. With over 160 years of Swiss watchmaking history, Tissot makes high-quality watches at prices that make sense. Today we're counting down 10 affordable Tissot watches that truly compete with Rolex where it really matters, on your wrist. Number 10, Tissot Every Time. Some watches try to impress you with everything they've got from the moment you open the box. The Tissot Every Time takes the opposite approach, and it works beautifully. Slim, clean, and almost impossibly understated, it's a watch that earns your appreciation slowly, the way the best things in life tend to. The thin case sits flush against the wrist. The minimalist dial asks nothing of you except a glance, and the whole package feels refined well beyond what you'd expect at this price point. Rolex makes dress watches that cost 20 times more and carry 20 times more prestige. But if you're standing across a room and someone notices the Every Time on your wrist, it's not because it's trying to be noticed. It's because it's genuinely beautiful. For anyone building their first serious watch collection, this is the foundation worth starting with. Number 9, Tissot Le Locle. There's something deeply satisfying about a watch that wears its history honestly. The Le Locle is named after the Swiss valley town where Tissot was born in 1853, and it carries that heritage in every curve of its case and every detail of its dial. The guilloche decoration, the exhibition caseback, the Roman numeral markers, all of it speaks to a tradition of Swiss craft that predates most of the watch industry as we know it today. Rolex's Datejust sits in similar aesthetic territory and costs a staggering amount more. The Le Locle delivers that same sense of occasion, that same feeling of wearing something that matters for a fraction of the price. It's the kind of watch you wear to a wedding and someone asks about, not because it's flashy, but because it looks like it has a story. It does. And now it's yours. Number 8, Tissot T-Race. Not every watch needs to whisper. Sometimes you want something that walks into the room like it owns the place. And the T-Race does exactly that. Inspired by the world of motorcycle racing, it carries that energy in every design detail, the skeletonized dial, the bold color contrasts, the sporty case that sits on the wrist with undeniable presence. This is the watch for the person who finds the Rolex Daytona fascinating, but finds the price tag completely disconnected from reality. The T-Race won't carry the same investment value, but it will turn the same heads, spark the same conversations, and deliver the same rush of wearing something that feels genuinely alive. Motorsport energy doesn't have to cost a fortune. This watch proves it with style to spare. Number 7, Tissot C-Star 1000. Dive watches have a way of making you feel capable of more than you probably are, and the C-Star 1000 is one of the best at that particular kind of inspiration. With 300 meters of water resistance, a unidirectional rotating bezel, and a build quality that takes on the Rolex Submariner's specifications without flinching, this is a serious tool watch wearing a very approachable price tag. The dial is bold and immediately legible. The bracelet is solid and well finished. The whole watch radiates a kind of quiet competence that makes you stand a little straighter when you're wearing it. Rolex charges thousands of dollars for the Submariner name and the decades of mythology that come with it. The C-Star 1000 charges a fraction of that for the actual watch. That's a trade some of us are very happy to make. Number 6, Tissot PRX. The PRX might be the most talked about watch in Tissot's entire modern lineup, and for good reason. Its integrated bracelet, its thin profile, its geometric case, all of it channels the spirit of the great integrated bracelet sports watches of the 1970s, the ones that now trade on the secondary market for prices that make grown adults weep. The Rolex Oyster Perpetual and Audemars Piguet Royal Oak created a template that the PRX follows with remarkable confidence and absolutely none of the financial pain. On the wrist, it looks expensive, feels refined, and wears with that effortless versatility that only the best designed watches manage. Dress it up, dress it down. The PRX handles both without missing a beat. For anyone who loves that era of watch design, this is the most honest expression of it available today. Number 5. Tissot Visadate. There are watches that feel modern and watches that feel timeless, and then there's the Visadate, a watch that somehow manages to feel like both at once. Originally launched in 1953, it carries the visual DNA of mid-century Swiss watchmaking, the silver sunburst dial, the date window framed like a feature rather than an afterthought, the case shape that feels classic without feeling old. Rolex's Explorer and early Datejust models live in similar aesthetic territory, and they carry prices to match decades of mythology and global recognition. The Visadate carries the same spirit and the same Swiss soul for a price that respects your intelligence. It's the kind of watch that rewards the collector who looks deeper than the crown on the dial, and that collector, more often than not, ends up the best-dressed person in the room. Number 4. Tissot PR100. Versatility is an underrated quality in a watch. It's easy to make something flashy. It's easy to make something minimal. Making something that works everywhere, on everyone, for every occasion, that's genuinely difficult, and the PR100 makes it look effortless. Stainless steel case, clean dial, sapphire crystal, and a build quality that shrugs off daily life without complaint. This is the watch that goes everywhere and never looks out of place. Rolex built its reputation partly on that same promise of all-occasion durability and style, the Oyster Perpetual being the purest expression of it. The PR100 doesn't have the Oyster case or the century of heritage, but it has something equally valuable, the ability to just show up and do the job beautifully, day after day, for a price that leaves room in your life for everything else you care about. Number 3. Tissot T-Touch Expert Solar. Every once in a while, a watch comes along that makes you reconsider what a watch is supposed to do. The T-Touch Expert Solar is one of those watches. Solar-powered, tactile sapphire crystal interface, altimeter, compass, thermometer, weather forecasting. This is a watch for people who actually go places and need their wrists to keep up. Rolex makes beautiful, precise, lasting watches. What Rolex does not make is a watch that reads your altitude at 4,000 meters, tells you which way is north, and predicts the weather, all for under $1,000. The T-Touch Expert Solar exists in a category Rolex simply doesn't compete in, which makes the comparison less about prestige and more about what kind of life you're living. For the adventurer, the traveler, the person who takes their watch to the edge, this one wins without a contest. Number 2. Tissot Gentleman Powermatic 80. The name says it all, and the watch lives up to every syllable of it. The Gentleman Powermatic 80 is a dress watch with a mechanical heart that beats for 80 hours on a single wind, which means it'll still be running Tuesday morning after a watch-free weekend without a second thought. The dial is elegant without being cold. The case proportions are near perfect. And the sapphire caseback reveals a movement that Tissot has every right to be proud of. Rolex's base Oyster Perpetual costs several times more for a comparable wearing experience and a similar mechanical proposition. The Gentleman delivers the substance, the refinement, and the quiet confidence of a serious Swiss automatic at a price that respects your intelligence and your wallet equally. This is a watch worth owning for life, and it will reward every year you give it. Number 1. Tissot PRX Powermatic 80. This is the one. Everything that makes the PRX so visually compelling, the integrated bracelet, the clean geometric dial, the slim, elegant profile, now comes with a mechanical automatic movement ticking away inside it, visible through a sapphire caseback that makes the whole package feel genuinely special. The PRX Powermatic 80 sits at the top of this list because it achieves something rare. It competes with watches that cost 5 to 10 times more, not on specifications alone, but on feeling. Wearing it, you feel like you made a brilliant decision. Like you found something the rest of the world hasn't quite caught up to yet. Rolex will always have the name, the history, the mythology. But on a Tuesday morning when the light catches your wrist and the bracelet sits perfectly and the dial glows with quiet confidence, none of that mythology matters. What matters is the watch. And this one is extraordinary.